Hello and welcome to Backyard Food Guide. What I'd like to do today is to do a quick video on how to make a simple slug trap. So there are a number of different options for dealing with slugs, and they do quite a lot of damage to the garden. For example, this year, in terms of putting in seedlings, they have pretty much demolished the bean plants that I put into the garden. So as you can see here, there are several holes, and this poor little seedling is practically gone. So you can go with commercial pesticides. However, those little blue pellets tend to be quite poisonous, and you could end up killing other beneficial insects rather than just the slugs. There are also things like eggshells or beer traps, and I think sometimes that can be effective, but I've also heard that there are limits. So what I want to do today is to show you a simple homemade recipe that you can use to make a slug trap. So we're going to begin with just this ice cream container here with holes cut out along the sides about halfway into the ice cream container. Some people use soda bottles, but we find that in terms of just the shape of the container, these work a little bit better because in the rain there's a lip, and so it prevents the water from running into the hole and diluting the slug bait that you have in the container. Whereas a soda bottle with kind of the cone shape, the water could run into the bottle. So what we do with this is we put a mixture in and we simply bury it into the ground up to the hole so that it's parallel to the ground and the slugs could simply climb in. Some people use beer, but I think a lot of people would argue, why waste good beer on slugs? So what I have is actually a very simple solution. Okay, so the key ingredients for the slug bait is 1 cup of water and then 1 teaspoon of yeast. We're just using active dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of flour. I'm actually making a double batch here for several slug traps that we have in the garden. So this looks a little bit more. I'm using double the amount, but it is in many ways a very simple and effective recipe to use. So just stir it up really well and go ahead and pour it into the slug trap. And just to make sure that the slug trap then, once we have the liquid in, can be buried into the garden. And here is the garden bed with just a little hole dug out for the slug trap. And you simply, once the liquid is in, pour and then kind of push the ground up to the holes so that the slugs can easily climb into the trap. Once the trap is in the garden, it's a good idea to check it every 2 or 3 days. You can simply throw out the dead slugs right into your compost. It makes sense to put it back into the garden. And this is a very simple method and also cheap and easy. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe or like if you've enjoyed this video and want to see more. Feel free to comment and make suggestions if you have questions. Thank you.